accentuated with a blue blazer. This look is accompanied with the navy blue slacks. To complete his attire, he's added brown loafers. If you're considering a day of play and relaxation or dinner on the pier, here's your ensemble. Jay-Z who? This is a king's look.
Contestant number 2 is wearing a dark blue button-down dress shirt with a sky blue blazer and a wine-colored pocket square to complement his stance. He completes his look with a pair of tan cap-toes outfits. This look can be worn for many occasions, from wearing class, day or night, to out in the town. Contestant number 2.
Socializing on the yard in his Kanye West-inspired look. Dominique is dressed in a charcoal black tailored blazer, extended length black t-shirt, and black jeans with custom padded designs. He completes this look with all black custom denim arena shoes, a look that can easily be worn day or night.
Contestant number 4 is prepared to socialize with students on the yard while sporting a cream blazer over a multicolored checkered bottom. Is prepared to socialize with students on the yard while sporting a cream blazer over a multicolored checker button-down and acorn khaki slacks. To add to the color scheme, he is wearing a pair of dark brown Oxford, a dark brown belt, and multicolored dress socks. The top buttons are unfastened to give an ambience of relaxation to the students. To keep time of the day spent, he is wearing his pocket watch as today's accessory. Contestant number 4.
With a crimson cotton half-zip sweater to keep him warm, because we all know how Tuskegee weather acts. Underneath is a travel multicolored sport shirt, and finishing off the look, a crimson and old gold silk pocket square to always represent Tuskegee, as a Mr. Tuskegee University should. Once again, contestant number 5.
Welcoming back to the stage, we have contestant number 6. He shows his casual style in a cream and black striped polo, coupled with the black corduroy jeans. He is sporting black sneakers and decides to complement the look with black sandals.
our children will say, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. It's not about win or lose. We all lose when they leave our souls are connected. Blood drenched pain. Keep on moving, water steady raging. This place is away, away. I try to bring it up, don't let it fade to no way, no way. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around. Thank you.
To stay, please stay. Please stay.
Show them how we do. From the port city of Mobile, Alabama. Tuskegee University. Are y'all ladies ready? Let's show them how cool can.
Mama gave me up when I was 4 years old. She didn't destroy my body, but she killed my soul. That was cold, cause I'm sleeping in my back seat. Understand the spiritual, but my flesh is weak. Let me speak. I never had a chance to dream. 10 years old and finding love in dirty magazines. This December, you remember, I bought you twice. Now I'm 30 plus and still paying the price. Smooth sound. Yeah, that's music.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. If you support it, we all important. I should listen to you. That's what color unity is. Listen to you. That's what color unity is. Listen to you. This bitch for me, I never need you. Graduate to be the boss. That's what we do. TU, Tuskegee, that's what we do. A lot of people wonder why I do it for. This my bitch. Let me spit my platform. They tell me so. This is smooth business. I can't be no stand-up. You feel like I feel, you should stand up. To keep this legacy going, I need your hand, bro. And to my sisters too, to tell the truth. We are one, and that's why we need you. Hey, listen to you. I should. Listen to you. I should. Listen to you. And that's my color unity is listen to you.
Hey, I just want everybody to have fun. I got the courage to come up here. Y'all should too. If we support it, we all support it. Let's help everybody out. Thank you.
The old court is saying goodbye. At this time, we will introduce the 2014-2015 Tuskegee University Royal Court.
Beginning with Miss Tuskegee University Court, we have our elegant second attendant, Miss Shaniqua Bianca Jones. A senior biology major from the city that never sleeps, Brooklyn, New York. Please welcome our beautiful first attendant, Miss April Nicole Baldwin. A senior history major from the magic city of Birmingham, Alabama. And last, but certainly not least, the 2014-2015 Miss Tuskegee University, Miss Tequilas Janine Celeste. A senior social work major from the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California.
And now, the Mr. Tuskegee University Court. Beginning with our second gentleman, Mr. Reginald Maurice Hunter. He is a senior sales and marketing and accounting dual major from the historic city of Tuskegee, Alabama. Next, we have our first gentleman, Mr. Ryan Herbin. A senior mechanical engineering major from the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina. At this time, Mr. Tuskegee University will share a video presentation entitled The Tuskegee Renaissance by Tuskegee alumnus Antonio Minifield from Why Not Images. Daniel John Renfro. Mr. Joshua Renfro holds the distinct honor of serving as the 17th Mr. Tuskegee University. On February 17, 2014, Joshua made history by becoming the first Mr. Tuskegee University from the legendary city of Tuskegee, Alabama. He is the youngest son of Larry and Marilyn Renfro. Mr. Renfro has been carrying the torch of leadership through the implementation of his platform, the Tuskegee Renaissance, Our Era, Our Legacy. He has been an advocate for higher education in his community by giving motivational speeches to the local schools and other young adult organizations. In April of this year, the funds raised from the inaugural Mr. Tuskegee University Scholarship Ball will award 2 deserving Booker T. Washington High School students scholarships to Tuskegee University. Mr. Renfro is on track to graduate magna cum laude with a degree in sales and marketing in May 2015. Upon completion of his undergraduate studies, Joshua will pursue his dreams of working in the fashion industry at Ralph Lauren headquarters in Manhattan, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Mr. Tuskegee University 2014-2015, Joshua.
Thank you, Cheryl and Charles. I thank God for allowing us to be here tonight for this momentous occasion as we celebrate the positive images, talents, and platforms of our 6 Mr. Tuskegee University candidates. It has been an honor to serve as your Mr. Tuskegee University 2014-2015. And I pray the future court enjoys this great opportunity to serve in the name of Mother Tuskegee. February 17th, 2014 was one of the best days of my life. My body went into complete shock as I was announced as the 17th Mr. Tuskegee University. Becoming Mr. Tuskegee University was not only an accomplishment for myself, but also one for my community, Tuskegee, Alabama. For 22 years, I grew up in Tuskegee, Alabama, admiring the university's rich legacy, noteworthy accomplishments, and thriving school spirit. I was inspired by Mr. Tuskegee University 2007-2008, Joe Owens, during my freshman year of high school. And one day, to find myself as Mr. Tuskegee University, I viewed this nothing as a blessing, nothing but a blessing. I campaigned for Mr. Tuskegee University on the platform, the Tuskegee Renaissance, our era, our legacy, which is a movement that encourages the current generation of Tuskegee to think about what legacy we want to leave behind. In addition to implementing my platform points, scholarship, community outreach, and personal development, I pursued another courageous task of progressing and gaining equality for the Mr. Tuskegee University position. It is a common misconception that Mr. Tuskegee is just an escort. While it is an honor for Mr. Tuskegee to be considered an embodiment of chivalry to all women, he is also an ambassador, and he has a platform and plan of action to help impact Tuskegee's campus, community, and beyond. It has taken a major cultural paradigm shift, godly determination, and consistent perseverance for the Mr. TU position to receive the respect, recognition, and reward that it rightfully deserves. God knows it wasn't easy, but thanks to the support of so many, and consistently reminding myself of the words in my platform, our era, our legacy, I can stand here tonight, proud to state, for the first time in the position's history, Mr. Tuskegee University will henceforth receive equal work study opportunity, equal budget funding, and the opportunity to host a scholarship ball that raises money for deserving students who plan to attend Tuskegee University. Throughout my reign, mistakes were made. Life lessons have been taught, but I'm a firm believer that God allows everything to happen for a reason. And I exit my office peacefully, knowing that no other Mr. Tuskegee University will have to fight the battles that have been fought. I've experienced some trials, but most of all triumphs. And I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge those who played an important role in my reign's success. I first want to start by thanking God. Without him, I am nothing. It is an amazing feeling to be a believer in Christ and understand whatever my heart desires. If in his plan, it will come to life. My family, my strongest support system, mom, dad, my siblings, my nieces, and my newest born nephew. Thank you for always being there no matter what. When people turn their backs, you all were always there, praying with me and providing encouragement. Mom and Dad, the reason why I'm grinding so hard in college right now is to give you all the world. Don't worry, give me a few years. It's coming. President Johnson, although he is not here tonight, he has taught me so much about leadership. Since him and I met, he has done nothing but build me up and motivate me to reach my maximum potential. You are a great mentor, and I am excited to see your vision for Tuskegee come to life. First Lady, it's not only been an honor to have you as the beloved First Lady of Tuskegee University, but also as one of my Royal Court advisors. We shared many laughs, conversations that inspire me beyond measure. You are the epitome of class, intelligence, and a first lady. Thanks for your consistent support and joyful spirit this year. To the Chief of Staff, Mr. Brown, you too have taught me so much about leadership. The words of wisdom and encouragement you have shared with me this year will stay with me forever. And I haven't forgotten about that lunch you owe me and the gentleman. Dr. Stella Simon, thank you for being an amazing administrator. Since day one, you have always supported me, and I really appreciate every active effort you have done to better myself. Thank you. To my advisors, the dynamic team, will you please raise your hand? Sorry. Raise your hand too. All right. Starting with Dr. Griffin. I knew Dr. Griffin when I was in high school, an ambitious student, just eager and ready to attend Tuskegee University. She has always served as a great mentor, and she has really supported me throughout my reign and everything that I've done at Tuskegee. And for that, I do appreciate you. Thank you. Dr. Green, my Nubian queen, as we like to say. She is the epitome of class, grace, and elegance, and she is so intelligent and well accomplished. I admire everything you've done and the support that you've given me throughout this year. Dr. Harris, she is an amazing woman. Now, though you went to FAMU, we still love and embrace you at Tuskegee University. You have gave me many laughs, you have such a cheerful spirit, and I appreciate God putting you in my life. Ms. Carr. Ms. Carr is definitely like a second mother to me. I mean, playing in the Mr. Tuskegee Scholarship Ball, she was there for me every step throughout the way, and I don't know what I would do without her, and I thank her for her support and her love, and she really has nurtured me, and this is why HBCUs are so important, because people like you. Mr. Brown, Joe Brown that is, the hardest working man in show business. I admire your work ethic, and I do appreciate the support that you have given me throughout this year. Thank you so much, Mr. Brown. And for the past Mr. Tuskegee, Dominique Foster, he cannot be here tonight, but he has served as a great mentor in my life. He has really helped guide me throughout my reign. Also to the TU Marketing Department, Ms. McGould, Cody Short, and also Stefan Smith. Thank you for being so selfless and supporting me throughout my reign. It has been a pleasure to work with you. To my campaign managers, I know it's kind of long, y'all, I'm almost done. To my campaign managers, Corey and Olivia. Without you, I obviously wouldn't be standing here today. I couldn't think of two better people to serve as my campaign manager. From those dorm runs.
Contestant number 1, your question. Historically, one of the roles of Mr. Tuskegee University is to be an exemplary role model for young African American males on campus and in the community. What would be your stance if the student body elected a Mr. Tuskegee University that was not a person of color?
Could you repeat that?
What would be your stance if the student body elected a Mr. Tuskegee University that was not a person of color?
Thank you for your question. I believe, although it goes to HBCU, I feel that we shouldn't discriminate against what color the person is, because you may never know, they could be a different, they could be a different race and be dark skinned, or they could be a person of color and be light skinned. So I feel like we shouldn't discriminate against someone representing the HBCU because of the color of their skin. We all know firsthand that being discriminated against because of our color is not fair. So I feel like we shouldn't down somebody and say, oh, you shouldn't be able to run for Mr. and Miss Tuskegee because of the color of your skin. Thank you.
Contestant number 2. Historically, one of the roles of Mr. Tuskegee University is to be an exemplary role model for young African American males on campus and in the community. What would be your stance if the student body elected a Mr. Tuskegee University that was not a person of color? Again, what would be your stance if the student body elected a Mr. Tuskegee University that was not a person of color?
it shouldn't matter the color of someone's skin. A man is a man. So, if he's black, white, Asian, whatever, what have you, if he's a man and he's a positive role model, it shouldn't matter what his race is if he's Mr. Tuskegee University, even though we're historically black college and university.
Contestant number 3. Historically, one of the roles of Mr. Tuskegee University is to be an exemplary role model for young African American males on the campus and in the community. What would be your stance if the student body elected a Mr. Tuskegee University that was not a person of color? Again, what would be your stance if the student body elected a Mr. Tuskegee University that was not a person of color?
Thank you. I believe that everyone is equal. Being a person of color at Tuskegee University is different, but if elected a non-colored Mr. Tuskegee, I believe that it would be fine as long as the student body work with it. Because I stand on the platform cultivating the remarkable and unstoppable minds of Tuskegee. So we have to get together and cultivate to do different community, to get out with the community and be great with one another. Thank you.
Contestant number 4. Historically, one of the roles of Mr. Tuskegee University is to be an exemplary role model for young African American males on campus and in the community. What would be your stance if the student body elected a Mr. Tuskegee University that was not a person of color? Again, what would be your stance if the student body elected a Mr. Tuskegee University that was not a person of color?
Thank you for the question. My stance, if Tuskegee University elected someone of non-color for Mr. Tuskegee, I would support that candidate. Reason being, this school was not only founded for African Americans, but it was also for the multicolored people who resided in Tuskegee, the town in itself. Both races, they both put sweat and tears into getting this institution founded. And for me to not support that person, I would be remiss if I did so. Thank you.
Contestant number 5.
I don't want to do it tonight, man. I'm just gonna get my information tonight and then we can just put it together tomorrow.
Historically, one of the roles of Mr. Tuskegee University is to be an exemplary role model for young African American males on campus and in the community. What would be your stance if the student body elected a Mr. Tuskegee University that was not a person of color? Again, what would be your stance if the student body elected a Mr. Tuskegee University that was not a person of color?
First and foremost, I must say that no matter what your color, we are all family. So whether he is fair skin, dark skin, light skin, white or black, he is still one of us. And we as a people cannot stoop to that level of saying simply because he is not of color, because he does not look like us, that he cannot represent us. A person who represents this illustrious institution should be based upon the character of that person and not the color of that person. So I believe that a person not of color could just as well represent this university as a person of color.
Contestant number 6. Historically, one of the roles of Mr. Tuskegee University is to be an exemplary role model for young African American males on campus and in the community. What would be your stance if the student body elected a Mr. Tuskegee University that was not a person of color? Again, what would be your stance if the student body elected a Mr. Tuskegee University that was not a person of color?
Color doesn't matter. We are all the same. We all are human beings, so we all are the same. So it shouldn't matter. It only matters what you bring to the plate, and also what you can bring for everybody else, not just yourself. And that's all I have to say.
Let's have a final hand for our dynamic contestants. Please stand for the retiring of the colors.